We needed a program like the Innocence Project to really inspire the students, the community, and to right wrongs. A clinical program established with enormous appeal to the whole world. Democrats, Republicans, liberals, conservatives. Everyone agrees innocent people shouldn't be in prison. While I was a litigator, my experience had been more on the civil litigation side. So we were really going to need somebody who had prosecutorial background, criminal defense experience, who really understood being a criminal defense lawyer.
I'm Mark Godsey. I'm a law professor here at the University of Cincinnati College of Law and director of the Ohio Innocence Project. Our mission is to look at old cases where the inmates have steadfastly maintained their innocence and see if there's some sort of evidence that might be able to shed light on it. We only go forward when we think the evidence proves they're innocent.
If you want to be free, and I mean truly free, you got to forgive the other person. You don't forgive someone for them, you forgive them for you.
Hey, Chris!
Jim Petro, Attorney General, just came in and announced that Summit County is dropping all charges against Clarence and seeking his immediate release.
I'm very proud of everyone who stepped forward on my behalf for justice.
I believe a truth is more powerful than a lie. If you believe in something and you fight for it long enough, that the truth will always somebody can bless you.
For 26 years, I have prayed to God to give me the strength to endure all trials and tribulations and prove my innocence.
It took some courageous kids and Mark Godsey and the Innocent Project to come forth and say, hey, there's innocent people out there and we need to help. That's exactly what they do. And they don't stop until they free you.
The family is so thankful and says they're preparing for an unforgettable Thanksgiving together.
It was just beautiful. I couldn't sleep. I was just so excited.
I think we have some exonerees here this morning. Robert McClendon, thank you, Robert, for being here. Thank you, Clarence, for being here. Joseph, thank you for being here. Well, it's signing time. Being in prison is tough. Think about being in prison year after year after year, knowing that you are an innocent person is one of the worst things I can imagine. The Innocence Project, I think, is really God's work.
The Ohio Innocence Project says Towler is the second longest incarcerated person to be exonerated by DNA in U.S. history.
This morning, I woke up, listened to the birds, and I stepped outside and watched the sun come up. That's a great feeling.
Just because they got me out, okay, end of story, you could go away. No, you got to stay and keep fighting the fight and be the voice.
The judge said David Ayers is a free man.
Can't wait to just get him and hug him and embrace him, kiss him.
It was the happiest day of my life. I didn't know what to do.
I did not do this. I will never, ever say I did it.
Dean is innocent. I'm absolutely convinced Dean is innocent.
You just hope and pray that that'll be the day that Godsey will call and say that he's coming home.
Well, we won Dean's case.
What?
Judge Murs threw out the conviction.
You gotta be kidding me! Oh my God!
It's so long this year. I want you to run out that door if I could know how free you are.
The students in the Innocence Project are the ones who dive in, roll up their sleeves, and become the experts on the case. The confession he gave to the police was false.
Doug Braid leaves prison tonight for the first time in 15 years, a free man.
I just can't wait to hug all of my family.
I can't begin to thank the Ohio Innocence Project enough because of them that I'm out, that the truth is coming out.
Well, a Cleveland man will soon be free from prison 39 years after he was falsely accused of murder.
Just because you're in prison, you don't have to be a prisoner. You know you're innocent, you got to keep fighting.
60-year-old Wiley Bridgman walked out of jail after nearly 40 years and into the arms of his baby brother, Kwame Ajamu. Both men had once been on Ohio's death row.
How excited are you to see Ronnie and Wiley?
I'm dying to meet them. I want to embrace them and hug them. Excuse me. Because we've been through a lot together, and we made it. We're here. We made it.
They were teenagers: Larice Glover, Eugene Johnson, Derek Wheat. They were innocent. It wasn't until 8,755 days later they were given back what was taken from them, their freedom.
In 2016, after years of court battles, a judge threw out James Parsons' conviction.
I never gave up in getting my dad out. Unfortunately, it was short-lived.
After 23 years behind bars, dementia.
He didn't know he was free. He didn't know he could leave.
They've decided to vacate your conviction, to ask for a new trial, and to not oppose bail. I think that means you should hopefully be able to be going home soon.
All right.
That's it?
He needs just a moment to process this.
Yeah, it's I knew that this day would come one day, but I knew I'd cry too, because my mother told me to never give up.
I ain't just a face. That's somebody that made it out. I'm the face of many people who didn't make it out. Like, there's a lot more in there. We gotta keep fighting for all of them. We continue to fight for them, for sure.
The state has a moral obligation to right an unthinkable wrong by compensating individuals when the state takes away one's freedom, wrongfully, and due to prosecutorial misconduct.
Christopher Miller, walking out of jail, a free man, had been locked up on a 40-year sentence.
It's unexplainable. It's unexplainable. I waited a long time for this.
Chris!
Oh my God, I was in there sleeping, I just heard him.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. Is Karan here too?
Yeah, he's here.
Look, man. You too, man.
The 83-year-old man spent 45 years in prison. In 2018, Ohio Innocence Project took on his case.
I never even thought there was people like you guys. I thought nobody cared. There's truly people with beautiful hearts.
It doesn't get no better to have safeguards on both sides.
It gives everybody an opportunity to understand what happened in that interrogation room.
What's this Mother Day gonna be like?
Wonderful. Like I just had the board fight.
My hero is Jennifer Bergeron. She would keep the case going and fight, and this is for free. That was just a huge burden lifted off of me and my family.
Raise your hands, this gentleman right here just got out of prison for doing 31 years for something he did not do.
They believed in me when no one else believed in me. Put in a lot of time and a lot of hard work.
For almost 24 years, I've been telling people I didn't do it. I'm innocent. I say, you'll see, one day my name will be cleared.
The judge has ordered that you are entitled to a new trial.
Oh my God. Are you serious?
Yep.
I don't even know what to say.
She's over there, Alan!
The state and the defense are here jointly asking the court to dismiss the indictment against him and let him go home.
When he come home, he'll be able to have a solid, good life.
I feel like I'm still walking in a huge blessing and gratitude. I don't take it for granted, and I want to live the rest of my life like that, being thankful to that extent.
It's the realization of a dream he couldn't even imagine just 7 years ago. Truth Seafood 7 is part of the owner's new lease on life.
When I was a kid, I always wanted to have something to where people can come have a good time. And I'm big on family, so a lot of things that I do with my family, I throw it at my house. I thought it was a cakewalk on the outside looking in. It's not. This is probably the second most stressful thing that I've endured since I've been home. But I mean, you'll never know until you take that leap. You gotta take the leap sometime.
By the grace of God, I found something that I was able to make sure that I could feed my family off of. The main reason for the brand was to be able to just spread awareness. This becomes a conversation within itself. It's like, hey, you got on Comic Club, you know what that mean? Or you know the guy that made it? Comic Club is like my story in clothes. I started reading on the actual symbol of the comic. It's basically a short pause and then it continues. And so I feel like me being in prison for a crime I didn't commit was just a short pause. And now I'm continuing. My story ain't ever over.
I started an agency called ABC, Above and Beyond Care Behavioral Health. Going into prison, I personally had an addiction problem, suffered depression while incarcerated. I said, you know what, a behavioral health agency that could tackle both substance use, mental health, and incarceration is needed. And so I started ABC.
All 8 of my grandchildren were born when I was in prison, but the 9th one I got to be home for. I got to watch him be born, and I got to hold him, and it was amazing. I missed that bonding with my other grandchildren. Now I have 2 great-grandchildren, and so I was home for their births. Life's been hard, but it's been good all at the same time.
So I was fortunate. It didn't take me that long to get compensated, maybe 2 years. So I had all the stuff that I needed. So then, you just see people coming out behind you and asking the same questions that I had, and now that I've gone through that, I can give them those answers. I would say Charles was a motivation to get an exoneree house.
Raymond had said, Kelly, the next time you talk to Charles, you have my blessings, to mention it to him.
So we met over here and we came over. She showed me the place.
And you said, but Kelly, there's no way I could afford the rent. And I said, well, Raymond's gonna talk to you about that.
He gave me the exoneree.
The exoneree rate,
right.
which is free.
When I realized I really needed the exoneree home was when Brian Howell came and asked me if I had space for Isaiah. We knew he had cancer. I'm glad that he had a couple years here that was as free as he could get. Brian Howell actually told me about Eric too.
I love being here. Provided me a place where I could sleep, take a shower, eat. Provides me with an opportunity to get myself together, get on track.
Yesterday was a good day. Al Cleve came up yesterday, him and Charles came up. Later on that night, Ricky Jackson and his wife came up last night. Just to see all my guys come in on Monday, it was just great.
Show me your friends and I'll show you your future. I know this might sound corny, but money don't make you rich, relationships make you rich. We're doing life together. I think me and Dean are beyond friendships. We're doing life together. He's like a brother to me.
Absolutely.
Who are you doing life with?
Yeah, who you choosing.
Who you choose.
Not forced to be.
That's right.
My story, I've got the exoneration, the wrongful conviction, but then I got the art. What I did with my time, what I created out of my mind into reality. A bunch of stuff I dug out of the trash can turned into art that went to the most prestigious contemporary art museum in the United States.
To come to New York, to MoMA, PS1, because my art is here. That's a pretty big deal. From where it was created, that's a pretty big deal.
Hello, Truth. You've been there all the time, but some people don't want to see you. Some people don't want to believe you. Hello, Truth. We fought for you. We fight because of you. But there are those who live with the lie, those who sleep with the lie. Hello, Truth. They played hide and seek with you and the proof. But when surrounded by lies and deceit, no wonder it took so long to find you. Hello, Truth. With God's armor, you come to dress me. I knew in time you would bless me. Hello, Truth.